So I'm here with Reginald Wesley on his birthday. Happy birthday, Reginald.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk with you today about this idea around, keeping it together. And we kind of all have to keep it together during this pandemic, but what does it mean if I ask you, hey, Reginald, how are you keeping it together? Are you keeping it together? Could you talk about that a little bit?
As we speak right now, I'm not keeping it together. I'm a hurt soul. And I'm allowing myself to feel that because that's what I need to feel. It's what I need to be. The awareness of that pain that I'm feeling normally would keep myself from feeling this and keep a stiff upper lip and keep it together and deny myself feeling these emotions. But that denies me to becoming the person I want to be. Is when we put that stuff down and allow it to be felt and seen and heard, then we can allow ourselves to become who we want to be. And for so many years, 46 years, I've kept the stiff upper lip. I've worn the mask of keeping it together. Yesterday I allowed myself not to keep it together, and it was very painful. Stuff I've never felt before. Emotionally draining, tiring, couldn't focus, couldn't think. But it was what I was needing to feel and go through. Because that was what was important. To be who I would come here to be the spirit I wanted to be, to love myself, to have self-worth, self-compassion. By keeping a stiff upper lip, denies me all of that. Denies me of wanting to be healed. And it's through this opportunity of feeling these emotions that I can start to put my life back together and not feel like I'm a broken man, not feel like I'm not lovable.
So, Reginald, would you say that playing nice, keeping it together, keeps you playing small? It doesn't, while it might not feel good to feel all those feelings that come up, there is only one way, and that's go through it.
It's very true. Very, very true. By keeping it together, you keep going through the pain. You keep going through the hurt. Day after day after day. You think it may be going away, but it's still there. But not keeping it together and allowing yourself to feel that pain, feeling that hurt, feeling broken. And so by being broken, we emerge out of that brokenness to shine, to be the authentic self that we came here to be. And as we sit back and hurt, feel, and endure that, it allows us to come forth to know what that looks like, what we really are inside of ourselves, in our heart. And it allows that heart the opportunity to shine and feel like it's been heard and seen. Because that's really where the pain is. By not acknowledging how we're feeling inside, that hurt. And by keeping a stiff upper lip and keeping it together and just keep marching on day in, day out, like this facade of, hey, I got my shit together, pardon my French. Gotta call it for what it is. It's just crap. It's okay to be hurting. It's okay to feel those feelings, and it's okay to say these things. It's okay to be vulnerable. Because once we acknowledge that, that's when the healing starts. That's when we start to put things back together that really belong to us. Because when you think about it, those things that we call broken are the things that people have put on us and what we've accepted. And when our spirits say, no longer, that's when we feel the vulnerability of feeling broken. And that which is calling forth to be healed, like for myself, it was calling to deal with my low self-esteem, my lack of compassion, my self-worth. And by acknowledging those things, I felt like crap yesterday. Felt bad. Couldn't eat. Didn't want to do anything, couldn't focus. But today I feel so much better. And it made me realize all I need to do is just feel it. All I need to do is just feel it. It was that easy, just to feel it and let it go, because it's not me. It's not what I want. Just let it flow. Allow yourself to be seen and heard through yourself, not by other people. And I think that's, for myself, where I got mixed up is I wanted to be seen and heard by others. And what I was really calling to do was be seen and heard by myself.
What you're saying is, let me see if I understand this, that you touched in to the really hard parts of yourself, and in doing that you realized that wasn't all of you, that it was just a piece of you.
This is correct.
And then when you allowed yourself to feel it and know that it might not feel so good, but it will pass, you have a kind of way of being with it.
Yes. By being with it and understanding it, it's not so hard. It wasn't so bad. I felt it, but that was a lot of years of feeling something that I deny myself to feel. Like I'm still feeling today, but I also can bring into the table feeling happy, feeling joy, changing that course, having a different thought process, changing my thoughts on how I am towards myself versus thinking that misery is me, that pain is me, because that's not really me. It's what I'm experiencing, and I'm experiencing it so that I can bring awareness to be able to change that, because it's not me. And when you try to keep it together, you identify that as you, and it takes over your life. It doesn't feel good, it's not the greatest feeling, but you have the opportunity to change it. But you can't change something you won't acknowledge.
Would you say it's like a form of self-oppression when you stuff that down?
Absolutely. It's a denial of your true spirit. We're not these bodies, and that's what we try to show people that we are, keeping this body together. You know, that's when I think about keeping it together, is keeping this image of what this body is together. But all that is doing is suppressing my spirit, that's what's in myself, and that's what's really shining. That's who we really are. And then allowing that to come forward, allowing that to be heard and seen and healed. Not this body that you want to show people, but that spirit that you want to show people. Then that expresses everything. It gives an opportunity to change all of that. All that we think is ourself, and the identity, the judgments and beliefs that society has put on us. For myself, I'm an African American man, strong man. There was this fear of, if I allow myself to feel these emotions and be that, people are going to be scared of me. People are going to think less of me. I don't care. I don't care. Think less of me. Think I'm a weak man, but I'm going to love myself. I'm going to have compassion for myself. I'm going to acknowledge that in myself. Because we all deserve that right to feel these things and move on. To not think we're lesser to anyone or anybody. We are who we are. We're true spirits. We're all connected that way. And by me sharing this, if it changes anyone to look within themselves, to allow themselves to feel that self-doubt, the loathing, the pain of trying to keep it together, and allow it to pass, just to feel it, go ahead and feel it. Just give it a moment and see how it changes your life. I'm not saying this is done and over just like that, but you have the ability to change something when you acknowledge it. But when you don't acknowledge it, you can't change it because you don't know what it is. And that's what I'm giving it, a face, a voice. And when you give something a face and voice within your spirit, well, you have an opportunity to change that. My fear of being deemed a broken black man kept me from allowing myself to feel it for so many years. Kept me wearing a mask of trying to be everything that everybody else wanted me to be rather than what I wanted to be. Yesterday that changed. I allowed myself to be present with it. And as I speak to you today, I'm still feeling those feelings, but I have the opportunity to change them and feel something different in the process too. It's not so overwhelming. And I'm sure as days come on and pass, those feelings will lessen because I have the acknowledgement of what that is.
So what I'm hearing you say really is the path to healing has to do with self-acceptance, which I would call self-compassion, but I really am hearing a lot of self-acceptance in your talk here today.
Absolutely. Because what is self-compassion? What is self-compassion? That's the Holy Grail. That's truly the Holy Grail. Self-compassion. Well, if you've never had it, it's like trying to go find a needle in a haystack but don't know what the needle looks like. And so you just turn in all this straw, you grab the needle, you throw it because you don't think it matters. You keep searching, you keep getting frustrated, you keep getting angry. But when you allow yourself the opportunity to be like, well, I don't know what that looks like, but I feel this. Well, there's your needle. There's your needle. And when you know what that needle is, then you can allow that needle to be heard. And then you can allow the love to come through. Then you know how to have compassion for yourself. I didn't understand all of this. People have been telling me for a long time, have self-compassion, have self-compassion. What the hell is self-compassion? Huh? Can you tell me? Can any of y'all out there tell me? We know the abbreviation of it, but everybody's self-compassion is different. Everybody's journey is different. But the way to that self-compassion, quote unquote, what they call that, is through allowing ourselves to feel our pain. Feel what we've been denying. Feel like a child feels. When a child's upset, they just let it out. They don't hold back. They'll throw a temper tantrum right there in the store, right there in any place whatsoever. And you know what? They'll get up and be like, okay. Somewhere down the road with judgment and a little bit of control from our parents or whatever it was, we denied ourselves the opportunity to allow ourselves to feel it so it just moves on. That is the awareness I've come to understand. The road to self-compassion is to let myself throw that fit, allow myself to feel that pain, allow myself to have identity with that which I don't want to feel. Who wants to feel these kind of things? Who really wants to feel these things? But they're things that need to be felt so that we can move into this new place that we want to be. I want to help others, if they choose, to heal themselves. And the only way to do that is to acknowledge my own pain and suffering. So I can have an understanding of what that is. And today I bring it to you. I bring you my pain and suffering. And I'm being vulnerable. Because ultimately that's what it's about, is being vulnerable to yourself. Not surrendering to someone else, but surrendering to yourself. By surrendering to yourself, you open yourself up to a bigger opportunity to be who you wanted to be. To have that person be loved, be nurtured, be cared for. Because that's who we're looking to be loved and taken care of, is by ourselves, not by others. But unfortunately, we look for others to do that for us. And then we're very upset about not being able to have that. Or we can't find that, or that person's not doing it good enough. By allowing ourselves to feel that for ourselves, well, we don't need it for anyone else to do that for us. And anything else that comes in that form is a plus to us and enhances our spirit.